everybody. Welcome to the QuiverCast.
You go left, I go right. Man, this wave is out of sight. Going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the QuiverCast. I am super excited to have Ella McCaffray here. How are you doing, Ella?
I'm doing well, thank you. Stoked to be here.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. I'm super excited. Let's start with where you are today and surfing competitions.
Right now I compete on the WSL qualifying series. I was on the Challenger last year and the year before that. I didn't requalify this year, so I'm enjoying taking some time off, traveling, surfing good waves, and getting a lot of training in.
Are you training a lot?
Yeah, I love the gym. I love surf training. I've gotten into Pilates. I like that too. Sort of just anything physical.
Okay. What is it like a typical day for you if you're at home?
If I'm at home, I like to start my mornings with stretching and rolling, probably go surf. Depending on how the surf is, I'll either surf again or go to the gym. Depending on how I'm feeling, maybe I'll do a Pilates session or get another surf in. But my day usually consists of surfing and training and back and forth between those two.
How did training get into your life? Did it happen organically?
No, when I was younger, my parents definitely wanted my brother and I to get in the gym and try surf-specific training. And I wasn't a huge fan of it at first. It was definitely my parents forcing me to go. But as I did it more and more, I sort of developed a love for it. And now I couldn't imagine surfing without it.
Really? Okay. Has it helped your surfing?
I think so. Knock on chair, I haven't had any injuries.
Okay. So is that why you do it? To make yourself stronger?
Yeah, to sort of strengthen my body and keep myself flexible and just prevent injuries.
Going way backwards, how did you get into surfing?
Well, my dad was a professional wakeboarder, so he started
Okay. I didn't know that.
Bill McCaffray.
Okay, cool.
He started my brother and I as wakeboarders, and it was kind of fun, but we really enjoyed surf camps in the summer. We would ask our parents to put us in week after week after week of surf camp. And so, yeah, we both kind of got hooked, and you know how it is with siblings. We always want to be better than each other.
Yeah.
So we just got competitive with our surfing, trying to be better than each other, and started competing in real competitions and kept going from there.
Who's older?
I am. 21 months.
Okay. So almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And does he still compete?
Yeah, he absolutely rips. He has such good style. He's in Japan right now with the 2% crew. They're touring their movie Hijinks.
Okay.
He'll be back next week. He surfs really well. He's had some competitive success as well, and he definitely pushes me to surf better and be better.
Since you brought up the 2%, where do you guys live?
We're from Encinitas.
Okay. So North County, San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Are you part of the 2% or are you guys separate? That seems to be the Sacramento kind of crew.
I don't think I'm part of 2%. My brother actually rides for Kolohe's brand now.
Oh,
so
cool. I didn't know that.
He's as in as it can be.
There you go. What do you think about the 2% crew, how it started? And
I think it's super cool. The first year I was on the Challenger series, it was really cool to see the Australians supporting each other. They were all down there for all the men's heats, all the women's heats, throwing the football together before the heats, psyching each other up. It was really cool, and I feel like we don't have a lot of that in North America. The surfers that travel internationally from North America don't really support each other. Obviously you'll travel with a friend or two, but as a group, I don't feel like there's much camaraderie. And seeing the other countries and their surfers grouping together like that and supporting each other was really cool. And I was like, wow, I wish we had that. And then it's really cool to see Kolohe sort of bring everyone together under the 2% name and sort of start that for the Americans and the North Americans. I think it's a great movement. I think he's doing a great job.
do you think it elevated some of these guys and gals? Their surfing, did it help push them?
Absolutely. Bringing that many surfers together with that level of talent is going to push each other for sure.
Yeah. It's super cool what they're doing, and I'm 100% behind them, what they're doing. I'm stoked on it. You and your brother were doing competitions, and how are you doing as a young lady in competitions?
I just spent 5 weeks in Indonesia. I surfed Lakeys for 2 weeks. We scored, and then I went to Nias and kind of scored over there. Like
Scored.
some of the best surf I've ever seen.
Wow.
I have surfed in that QS 5000 for the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if I was going to do it this year. I signed up and then was waiting to see the forecast, and the forecast looked absolutely incredible. So I went a week early, scored, got some fun barrels, and then got to compete in some of the best waves I've ever seen.
And won it and took it.
And I took the win.
So rad. Okay, I've watched some of the heat, and I actually was watching it in the middle of the night here, just because I flickered through YouTube, and I'm like, amazing waves.
It was absolutely incredible. Like, I can't even explain how cool it was to be there, be a part of that, getting to surf some of the best waves I've ever seen with one other girl out at like warm water, perfect right point break. As a regular footer, there's not much more I could ask for. I remember like not really wanting my heats to end just because we were surfing so many good waves, just wave after wave after wave. And so, yeah, I won that event. So that's probably the highlight of my competitive career so far.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, yeah, great surfing. Good job. Super pumped up. And perfect, you came on pretty much right after. So I'm excited. Describe the wave. In real life, is it like it is on video?
In my opinion, it's my favorite wave in the world and probably like the most perfect right point break. Like you just drop in, you can stand there and get barreled. It's insane. And then even if it's not barreling, it's so rippable. Like absolutely perfect wall, 3 or 4 turns. You can paddle right back out and get another one.
What were the other girls saying? Were they all just as stoked? Were there any nervous girls? Like it was kind of big too.
It was bombing and everyone was charging. I was really impressed. Like the Aussie girls were ripping, the Japanese girls were charging. There was one afternoon where they ran the Pro Junior in the morning and then it was picking up throughout the day and they were supposed to run the women's. And it was the biggest day of swell and the swell started to fill in and they switched it and put the men out. And all the Aussie girls lost it. Like, they were so pissed. They were, like, at the judges' tower yelling, like, we want to surf. We're ready to surf. And I think that's super cool. Like, seeing girls like Katie and Molly on tour pushing the level and, like, really pushing women's barrel riding. Yeah. I feel like that's trickled down to the QS. Like, all the girls that were there were ready to surf. We were ready to charge the big surf. We were pretty bummed when they switched to the men's.
Yeah, they should not have at all.
But we got great waves the next day, so no complaints.
Yeah. Okay. From your perspective, is the women's surfing getting gnarlier?
Absolutely. Women's surfing is progressing really quickly. Girls like Sierra, Katie doing huge airs. Molly's backside barrel riding is sick. Caroline's like watching the Olympics at Chopu in pretty solid surf was sick.
But what's your opinion of eyes watching the TV and watching women competitive surfing? Is there more people watching it, do you feel?
Honestly, I feel like men's surfing is probably still more popular, but at how quickly we're progressing, it'll probably be the same soon.
And the old guard, the older ladies, you guys are all coming up. And are they frightened of you, do you guys think?
It's been pretty cool to watch, like, sort of the changing of the guard on tour with,
100%.
like, Stephanie taking a year off, Carissa retiring now. That was crazy. Right. She's one of my idols. I've looked up to her as long as I've been surfing, so that was pretty crazy to see. I really wish I had gotten the heat with her before she retired.
Never surfed against her?
Never surfed against her. But maybe she'll wild card herself into something.
I think for
That'd
sure.
be sick.
Right?
Yeah.
I think for sure. She has to.
She has to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting to watch. There's definitely been a shift on tour with the younger girls coming up, like Gabby being on for a couple years now, Katie's in the yellow jersey, Molly. Pretty great to watch. I think it's definitely keeping the veterans on their toes.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That was my point, yeah.
and Tati are still ripping. They're still in the top 5, but they better look out.
Yeah, it's all changing and it's rapidly. But from an outside perspective, I feel like people are talking about women's heats and the women's surfing more than ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's super exciting right now in the surf world because it's changing. Why do you think all of you women have come up so quickly?
In North America specifically, I feel like we have a really deep talent pool. Like the North American women's QS, in my opinion, is by far the most stacked region. With only 4 of us making the Challenger, it makes it super competitive. We have to be surfing at our best every heat, every event, and it really pushes us to continue improving. And then with the WSL, moving the women's. I think there was one year where they had the comp at Honolulu, then there was a shark attack, and so they switched it to pipe.
Yep.
And then they continued the event at pipe. Now that they're giving us the opportunity to surf in those heavier waves, like, we have to step up our level and be ready.
Have you surfed pipe?
I've surfed backdoor.
Okay.
I'm regular foot. My backside barrel riding isn't great, but I'll go for it front side.
What was your feelings going out there for the first time?
So crowded. It was hard to like focus on how heavy the wave is or how dangerous the wave is with how many people are out there. It's just, in my opinion, it was like all about positioning, all about, am I going to get called off by this person? Am I about to snake someone? Like, I kind of just worried about the people.
Were you worried about getting injured by somebody?
More so just positioning for waves.
Okay. All right. Just getting your wave.
Yeah.
In Hawaii, if you're there, you're staying there for the winter, are there other ways you'd rather surf just to stay away from the crowd? Or what's your thoughts on the crowd in Hawaii in general?
Hawaii's great. It's a really good place to go to get exposure. And if you get a sick wave at pipe, like, everyone's going to see it. It'll be online everywhere. But with the number of people that go there and just, there's a lot of waves, but there's not that many waves for how many people. I'd rather go somewhere else. Like, I'd rather go to Indo or probably just Indo.
Yeah. How many times have you been to Indo?
This year was my 3rd year.
Wow. Okay. Comfort-wise, did you start off comfortable there?
The first year I went there, I went with a coach, and he kind of like showed me around, showed me where to surf, showed me what to eat, what not to eat.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably very important.
Yeah, and that was really great. And then last year I went with some friends, and this year I felt comfortable and went by myself, and
Really? Okay.
it worked out pretty well.
Frequent flyer miles, you probably have a lot. It seems like you're always going for the last few years, right?
Yep.
How's traveling?
I have spent a lot of time on airplanes. I think the longest flight I've been on in the past year was probably 16 hours from Johannesburg to somewhere on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
That is way too long to sit in an airplane seat. I would not do that again. I'd probably get 2 shorter flights. I love traveling. I love seeing new places. I'm a little bit sick of airplanes and airports, though.
Okay. Are you taking time out to go tourist out? Or are you staying at the contest site and you're out there?
It depends on how the comp goes. I really like to lock in and stay in one spot before the event. If I lose early, I gotta make the trip worth it somehow. So either I'll go surf other waves, try some tourist stuff, or just like try to work with a coach there.
Okay.
Like, I went to Ericeira for the Challenger Series event last year. I didn't do very well, and then I had my whole trip ahead of me. And Europe's incredible, amazing, like probably one of my favorite places I've been. So I drove up to Super Tubos, got to surf that wave, and sort of went and saw some of the like old architecture, some of the like castles and the cathedrals. So yeah, I do a little bit of both, but I like to stay in one spot before the event.
Are you hanging out at the contest area, or are you staying away from that until your heats?
I'm staying away from that until my heats.
Are
I don't
you?
like having people around me. I
Really?
like to
Okay.
stick to myself, other than like my parents or my brother.
Okay. Are your parents traveling with you, or your brother going with you?
Depends. My dad loves Europe, so he went with me to Ericeira.
Cool.
My mom really likes Barbados, so she goes with my brother and I to that QS event. We have a QS 3000 in Puerto Rico this year, which is new. I'm really excited for that. It'll be nice to have a highly rated event in good waves.
Okay.
And my dad's pretty excited to go with me to that one. My mom will probably go to Barbados. The events that my brother doesn't go to, I'll probably do on my own, and everything else I'll do with my brother.
Okay. Going back to wakeboarding, your dad was a wakeboarder. Does he surf?
He tries.
He tried.
Sorry,
What
Dad.
about your mom?
No, he's getting good.
Okay.
Or he's getting better.
Okay. What about your mom? She surf?
My mom is an absolute beast at Pilates. She's one of the ones that got me into it. She hasn't gotten in the water in a while, but I'm trying to get her back out there.
Do you guys have a family beach day sometimes when you're home?
Yeah, we'll do a family beach day. It'll probably be my brother, my dad, and I surfing, and then my mom will be cheering from the beach.
There you go. Well, it's family beach day.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Being away from home so much, what do you feel about Encinitas and being home?
I love it. I've traveled so much, and it makes me really appreciate where I live. I have seen a lot of towns, and I'm really grateful to live in Encinitas, and I don't think I'd want to live anywhere else.
Okay, so you're not eyeballing like in 20 years I'm going to come back here and live here?
No, it'd be cool to have like a house in Europe or a house in Indo or something, but Encinitas will always be home, and I think I'll always live there.
What about school? Did you go to regular school or did you get homeschooled?
I went to regular school through 7th grade, and then my parents homeschooled my brother and I when I was in 8th grade and he was in 6th grade. I homeschooled all through high school, and then I've taken some college classes online, but I've found that that's pretty hard with traveling. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll be in a different time zone, and I'll have an essay due at noon in California, but that's like a day earlier and middle of the night wherever I am. Mm-hmm. So I just find it kind of hard to keep up.
You can always go back to school later.
Yeah.
School's going to always be there, right?
Exactly.
These moments of traveling, do you feel like you have this window of opportunity to travel, or do you think it's going to always be there?
No, I feel like now is definitely an important time. Like, I'm younger now. Yep. I want to get it in now and see where it takes me. And then if for some reason something doesn't work out, then I can always go back to school, or I can always like try to settle down and find a job. But right now I want to travel and compete.
You're killing it. You're doing so well. So you surf the U.S. Open. Do you drive down there in the morning, or do you stay up in Huntington?
I was staying up in Huntington. I stayed up there before the longboard event, and then as soon as the longboard event started, I came home for a couple days and then went back up before my heat. Okay.
So you surf Nias and then you surf Huntington. How different?
I think as different as possible.
Right.
Crumbly, mushy, Huntington, short, fat groveler board, absolutely bombing, barreling Nias, big fins, big board, like as different as it can get.
So do you think there's a need for Huntington to be an event? You know, and Nia's probably, it's all just you surfers for the most part, in the village people. Mm-hmm. But Huntington, the point of having is to have people come and watch.
I'm not a huge fan of the surf in Huntington, but it is really good for surfing.
Okay.
Like, as a sport, it draws a lot of attention. It lets the audience be a part of it. Like, you can be on the beach watching. You can be there when the winners get cheered up. You can meet all the brands. You can try all the activations at the booth. Like, I think it's really good for surfing. But then the waves you surf on the Challenger really don't hold a candle to the waves you surf on the CT. It's like you can be the best groveler in California, but you're going to get thrown out at pipe and haven't competed in waves like that at all.
Yeah. So I feel like they need to up the ante a little bit in the Challenger Series to get, if you guys make it to the CT, and hopefully that's everyone's goal.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be semi-prepared.
Absolutely. I think having Snapper is an amazing call. Like, that's so sick.
That's so good. Wait.
Snapper's a Challenger. But, like, Narrabeen, Huntington, Brazil, they're not on par with the CT, which, okay, it's like a level below, but still, like, the people who are qualifying should be prepared to surf on the CT, and the people that qualify should have the skills that sort of translate to the CT. If that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense. My opinion, this is just some guy watching from the outside, feeling like Nia should be a Challenger probably more than a QS. Oh my gosh,
that would be incredible. Right? Absolutely.
Up the ante and put you surfers on the Challenger Series and even the QS in better quality waves.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Well, how do you think WSL is doing overall?
I really like the Rising Tides program. I think that's sick. I got to participate in the one before the U.S. Open, this event. I hadn't participated in one before, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. The Pure Vita sponsored it, and they made these bracelets. They had like these words written on them, like believe, fearless, confident, and each of the mentors, like I was mentoring Alyssa Spencer, Zoe Benedetto, Eve Wong, and a couple of like other girls who were competing in the event. We picked a bracelet with a word that sort of we liked. Mm-hmm. And then the Groms went and picked their bracelets, and the Groms who picked the same word as you got put in your group, and you basically sat down with them, talked about what the word means to you, what the word means to them, and like how they can apply it to their surfing career. And then we all went and surfed together. And I thought,
so cool.
So cool. Like growing up in Southern California, I didn't have a lot of girls surfing with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like me and the boys.
Yeah.
But seeing programs like Rising Tides and the board riders events, those help the community as well. I think the WSL is doing a really good job in that area.
Going back to Huntington real quick, do you have a different feeling when you are paddling out at a place where there's not a lot of spectators versus paddling out at Huntington where people are lined up on the pier?
No, that doesn't really bother me. That's not where my focus should be. And if my focus is there, I have a bigger problem than the people.
Okay. How many coaches have you worked with?
I've worked with quite a few coaches over the years. I've been working with John Daniels for the past couple years, and I think he's brilliant. Like, best coaching I've ever had. He explains things in a way that I understand what I need to do and how I need to do it. I can send him clips while I'm on a trip, and he'll critique them, send them back to me, so I can get coaching when I'm out of town. It's pretty brilliant, and I think he's amazing.
Awesome. Events or just free surfing, what do you prefer, the warm water, cold water?
Warm water.
Okay.
All day. I love.
Lose the wetsuit?
Yeah, no thanks.
Okay. Do you mind going out in the colder destinations? Or motivation-wise, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel significantly less motivated when I have to put on a wetsuit or booties or gloves. Obviously, if there's a competition, I'm going to do it anyways because my preparation has to be good. But I'd choose warm water any day.
You had a funny video on your Instagram. It was your wipeouts. That was a great video. A lot of views.
I think it's good to keep it real. Like, surfing isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Our boards hit us in the face. We fall, we slip, we get smoked. And I think it's good to show that side of it, too, because that's entertaining. Like, people like fails.
Yeah.
Why not show the world that?
Yeah. Going back to social media and stuff, are you doing your own editing for these clips?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So how did you learn that process and how did you get into it?
Kind of just from being on Instagram.
Okay.
Probably spending way too much time swiping through reels. And yeah, just keeping in mind what I like when I watch reels and then trying to apply that to the stuff I make.
Do you like social media? What's your thoughts?
I do like it. I think it sort of creates a lot of opportunities for surfers that, I mean, without social media, like, surfing probably wouldn't have a very big audience.
Really? Okay.
Like, just the people that are at the beach. Like, social media, like, someone in the middle of the U.S. who's never seen the ocean, like, oh, they can watch surfing, get hooked on it through Instagram, and then, oh, maybe, like, they want to watch a surfing competition, go to WSL and check it out. Like,
That's a good point.
I feel like it's great for marketing our sport, and I feel like it gives the athletes a lot more opportunity. Like, it gives us the opportunity to work with brands that we might not have connected with just through the surf industry.
Do you know how many people follow you?
21,000.
Okay. That's a lot of people. Do you ever look at them, like, go down and, like, see who's following you and, like, see where they live and kind of explore it?
I don't really. I probably should do that.
That's an honest answer. One day you should do it. Just kind of trip out. Maybe have some girl in India or something, like maybe not even near an ocean, in the middle of the world. Your editing is great.
Thank you.
I love if they're reels or, yeah, your Instagram is fabulous.
Thanks.
Your surfboard art. How'd you get into that? Are you an artist?
I've sort of loved painting as long as I can remember. Like, I remember art class being my favorite class back when I was in regular school.
Wow. Okay.
I've been drawing on my boards for a while. I remember one time, long time ago, like when Fortnite was huge, I was super hooked on Fortnite. And so I drew like the Lucky Llama from Fortnite on my board. I think that was the first thing I ever drew. Now I kind of just stick to spray paint.
Is it enjoyable to decorate your boards?
Yeah, I think it gives it a personal touch. Like, everyone...
It shows your personality of you.
Yeah, everyone can surf a white surfboard. It's nice to, like, really make it mine. I'm inspired by this. I think this is cool. I put it on my board, and then it's just there with me.
How much thought are you putting into it?
Way too much. I spend so much time painting my boards. Sometimes I'll, like, get a board, put in hours painting it, and then it'll suck. And so I'll
Really?
trade it in, try again. But that's the worst. I hate when that happens.
So have you learned from that? Like what not to do and what to do or what colors or...
No, if I'm inspired to do something, I'm going to do it.
Give it a go?
Yeah.
Cool. That's the way it should be. You talked about instantaneous board riders. Are you a member?
I am. I'm the women's team coach, and
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've been a member for, I think, the last 4 years.
And has that helped lift the community of surfing?
Absolutely. I think at first we were pretty competition focused, like we were kind of just focused on winning, but recently we've sort of made it into more of a community based thing. Like we have this thing called the Wahine Day, and we
Okay.
basically invite all the girls in Encinitas 12 and under, and the girls on the team
Wow.
like show them how to pop up and then take them out and surf and then do arts and crafts with them and just like get them stoked on surfing and the beach. And it sort of brings like girls of that age together. They can meet friends, like meet their peers, and maybe find someone to go surfing with and just get stoked on surfing.
Yeah, that's super cool. That idea of building community. Do you find that some of these young ladies don't go to the beach that often?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then at the board riders events, it's super cool to like see the 50 and up staying and supporting the 14 and unders. And like you sort of get to know your community better. Like you hang out with people you maybe wouldn't have hung out with at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so good for the community. And
So different generations get to know each other.
exactly.
Right.
My brother and I get to surf on the same team as Rob Machado.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah, totally cool. How is Rob as a person?
He's awesome. He's
Yeah.
so cool, so casual. Yeah, he's rad.
So you guys won the whole shebang, right? Encinitas Board Riders?
We won the All-Star event that was in Huntington in like, I think they ran it alongside the Jacks event.
Yep.
But it was basically a one-off event. Each club had to have a team with one Grom, one female, and then just 2 other male surfers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do like typical board riders tag team format, but only those 4 surfers on a team. And yeah, we won. We beat San Clemente.
So rad. Which had to feel good, right?
Oh yeah.
Southern California, for the most part, we're all segregated, even though we're all grouped together as one body, I guess. So cool when you can beat someone 40 miles away down the way.
Yeah, and San Clemente is sort of known as the epicenter of surfing in Southern California, so it felt pretty good to beat them.
Do you surf lowers?
Yeah.
Crowd-wise versus, you said pipe earlier, or backdoor. What has the heavier crowd?
Definitely pipe and backdoor. I feel like I've lived in Southern California long enough that I can kind of get waves at lowers, but pipe's a whole nother story.
Let's talk about getting a couple waves at lowers. Are you taking off in front of people?
No, I'm trying not to. Sometimes it happens on accident.
Yeah,
if
it
I've
does.
burned you, I'm sorry. It wasn't on purpose. Unless it's my brother, I'll burn my brother on purpose.
Okay, fair enough.
Like if I'm having a bad session and he's catching a ton of waves, I'll be like, oh, okay. Like I'm your older sister. It's my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just try to stick to the middle outside and catch my own waves, not really invade on anyone's space.
Do you know who the guys are and the gals are? Is there certain people you need to, like, no matter what, it's their wave?
I feel like you definitely have to respect the pros from San Clemente.
Okay.
Like the guys that are sitting at the peak are sitting at the peak for a reason.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
But if I'm in position, I'm in position.
There you go. Okay. Where are you going off to next? What's your next big adventure?
I'm actually leaving in a couple days for Nicaragua. I just kind of want to get out of Cali. We have no surf right now. The water is super nice and it's like a beautiful summer day, but we have no surf. And I have 3 3000s coming up, so I want to get myself in some decent waves and sort of practice technique, practice getting combos, and just practice surfing.
Yeah. Going back to Nias real quick. You won that event. Do those points count or they don't?
No, those points don't count for
Because
me.
it's
not my
Australian.
region.
Yeah. Do you think there should be regions, or do you think it should just be QS and you can go where you want and accumulate points?
I really like the regional system.
Okay.
I think we'd save a lot of money. Before it was a little bit pay to win. Like if you have the money to travel to every event, you're going to have more points than someone who can only afford to go to a couple events a year.
Good point.
Yeah, it sort of helps from a cost perspective. It is a little frustrating, like surfing against the same people over and over and over again. But like I said, this region's super competitive and it pushes me to be better.
You like warm water. Last season, you won in Morro Bay, which is, in my opinion, cold water.
Very cold water. It was freezing. And like every day was super windy, but not like decent wind, like cold wind.
But it was offshore, right? Or like side shore?
A little bit of everything.
Let's walk through that event real quick, because that's kind of where you kind of got on our radar. Did you feel like you were going to win the event early on? Do you know you're going to win an event early on?
I definitely go into certain events feeling more confident. Morro Bay, I think I'd gotten third there 3 years in a row.
Okay.
So I had a pretty good track record. Like, I had made it to finals day every year before that. The surf is usually pretty good when we have an event up there, and it's nice to surf real wave. My small wave surfing isn't the best, but I feel like I excel a little bit when there are real waves, as shown in Nias.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt good going into that event. The first few days were bombing. I think they had to call the comp off for a couple days. And so I remember like doing a strike mission down to Rincon with some friends and getting good waves there. And then when they called the comp back on, we still had pretty good surf. So yeah, I just felt comfortable. I felt confident. And my main focus was to make it past the semis because that's where I had been stuck.
Okay.
And then when I made the final, I feel like everything kind of flowed. I felt confident. I was like, okay, like I made the final. I can win.
What do you think is the best wave in California?
I don't think many people will agree with me, but when Swami's is good, Swami's is the best wave in California.
Oh, it's so good, right?
That is my favorite wave in California, for sure.
And once again, I got to ask you, how do you deal with the crowds there? 'Cause I feel like Swami's is just as bad when it's good as Lowers.
I feel like Swami's is worse because
Maybe
there's guys on
Long
huge boards,
Yeah.
like guys
Sitting
on
way
ASIMs,
outside.
yeah, like wearing guns and life vests, and it's like 10 foot maybe.
Okay.
Like, yeah, the crowd out there is gnarly, and my only advice for that is just putting in time out there. Like,
Okay.
you got to put in time, get to know the locals, and then maybe you'll catch a wave.
So how often do you surf Swami's?
Only when it's good.
Okay, so
It's
all right.
pretty hard to surf when it's small, all long borders, and it's a pretty mushy wave.
What's your home break?
Seaside.
Okay.
Seaside Reef.
So Seaside's kind of it gets really good. It gets super good. It gets solid swell. Will you give me your breakdown of Seaside?
I think it's a really tricky wave to surf.
Yeah.
Like, I remember NSSA comps back in the day, there would be like a left breaking on the inside at Pally's and then sort of like a mushy right left out the back at the reef, and it was like, oh, do I surf the inside or do I surf the outside? And then if I like go out the back and it's mushy, like do I end up coming to the inside or do I just stay out the back? So it's a weird wave, but it has so much potential. Like, there's kind of every wave you could ask for. There's a beach break right, beach break left, reef right, reef left.
Yeah,
It's a great wave.
It can get really good, but it is get wonky sometimes.
Super wonky.
Yeah, it's a trippy wave. Usually drive down the street and kind of check the other reefs, or do you just? I'm paddling out Seaside. Everyone else is out there. Jake Marshall or whoever else.
I'm a little lazy. I use the Surfline cams and kind of check around. In summer, Seaside's pretty flat and there's a lot of swimmers, so it's pretty hard to surf the inside. In the summer, I'll usually end up at D Street.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Or I'll be up here in Oceanside. I think Harbor is probably one of the better spots in the summer.
Okay, and going back to Nicaragua, why are you going there just to get good waves?
Yeah, just to get surfable waves, warm water,
Yeah, okay.
and yeah, probably just work on my technique. I'll send clips to John and try to improve.
What wave do you usually surf there, or where do you stay?
I'm going to be staying at Playa Colorado's.
And what do you think about that wave?
I haven't been there in a long time. The last time I went, I think I was like 14 maybe.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't know how the waves changed. I don't know what's new, but I'm excited to go check it out.
Going back to you, is there any other hobbies you have besides surfing? And is surfing a hobby or is it a lifestyle?
Surfing's kind of my life.
Okay.
It's the main thing I do. It's my job. It's how I make money. It's where most of my time and energy goes. I think my other hobbies, well, obviously I like art. I like painting my boards. I'm really into baking.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Are you good?
I think I'm really good. I think some of my friends would agree.
I bet you are. So what do you like, making cakes, cookies, all of the above?
I make an insane apple pie. Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
probably one of my favorites. I have a really good banana bread recipe, but it's like, okay, banana bread's kind of basic. I also like cinnamon rolls. So I took like the cinnamon swirl recipe from cinnamon rolls. So I make banana bread dough, and then I take that cinnamon swirl and like swirl that into the banana bread.
Oh, wow. Sounds
So
amazing.
good.
Yeah. So did you start as a young lady doing this, or?
My grandma's really into baking, so she has her own like recipe book, and I've like taken some of her recipes. I don't eat gluten or dairy, so I've sort of adapted them to myself and sort of adjusted the recipes for those things. And then, like I said earlier, training. I'm really into the gym. I'm really into Pilates. And not a hobby, but I have 2 huskies that
Yes.
I absolutely love. I spend a lot of time with them.
You miss them when you're not home?
I do.
Yeah, that's got to be hard.
When I was in Nias, my parents got a puppy. So the younger one that's on my Instagram all the time, my parents got that puppy while I was gone, and I asked for puppy pictures every day. And when I FaceTimed them, I was like, show me the puppy, show me the puppy.
Energy level, is your energy the same as a husky? Because huskies are pretty energetic.
No.
Okay, no.
Not at all. She's such a spaz. We have an older one that's pretty calm. I think I have more energy
With
than
age,
him.
you came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have more energy than him, but the puppy is an absolute spaz.
Wow. Okay. Do you have any other pets? Just
Nope.
the 2 huskies.
Just the 2 huskies,
That's so cool, though. Do you think have contests at wave pools?
Ooh, tough question. I think wave pools are really good for like improving your surfing. Like you can get the same thing over and over and over again. Like you could get with skating or soccer, like literally any sport except surfing. But I don't know about competing in them because I feel like the point of a wave pool is repetition. And I think that's the flaw with competitions in wave pools, or they get boring. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. Like I've been to the Surf Ranch Pro and it was like really cool to watch for the first 30 minutes, but it's kind of the same thing. And I feel like if there's gonna be surf competitions in wave pools, they should be like a one-off thing. They had that QS in the Asia region in a wave pool, which was sick, like really cool, and it was snowing, so that was like a super cool aesthetic. But to put 3,000 points on that,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
I just don't think that's right.
I see what you're saying. You said you're gluten-free. How hard is it traveling all over the world in all different continents, different cultures? Keep your diet the
It's
same.
so difficult. Going to Europe last year was probably like one of the hardest well, not hardest things I've done, but like it was so difficult. Like Europe's all gluten, all pastries, all bread. Avoiding that was really tough. I did it. I didn't have a single pastry. I didn't do any of it, but that was tough. And then traveling to like pretty remote places like Nias, I can do it. Like I kind of just eat a lot of rice and protein, but it's definitely difficult when traveling.
The storage of food and stuff, are you ever concerned, like, where is this kind of coming from?
I feel like that's something I can't really afford to worry about because I have to eat.
You got to go. Right?
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do.
All right. So who's supporting you for all your endeavors to get on the CT?
My biggest supporters are my parents, 100%. They got me into surfing. They've been there since day one. I'm so grateful for everything they do for me, and I'm grateful that they want to travel with me and they keep supporting me. I'm also grateful to my surf sponsors. I ride for Body Glove, Zamazon, On a Mission, Futures, Surf Ride, and Sharp Eye.
Wow. Cool. All right, everybody. So this is Mike and Ella, and we are out of here. Thank you, Ella, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I am stoked.
I'm stoked
Thank
too.
you.
You go left, I go right. Man, this wave is out of sight. Going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends. Ride this wave to the shore. Paddle out, I'm gonna catch 10 more. Going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends. I don't care if it's wrong or right. I'm gonna do it all day, I'm gonna do it all night. I'm going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends. Watching up on my way. It's a beautiful day. I'm going surfing. I'm going surfing. Going surfing with friends. Woo!
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film. But dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.